Cool. So we're back with another one. Good to be back. I've been trying to put this video up for a while now, but in essence, we've been working on the agency for the past couple of days. Good updates. I actually just booked my first call to literally not maybe I want to say an hour or two ago. Big day for me. I've been doing the outreaches for the past 3-4 days. I've slowed down about yesterday. My mom's been sick today and really haven't done too much. Just done literally maybe 5-6. And I think that one thing that I've probably been picking up is from my at least viewpoint, it is about quantity, but it's also about quality, because it doesn't really matter if you're putting out 1,000 a day if it's very, very shitty. So yeah, let's get into what I've learned, how I did it, and also how to deal with certain nuances that are bound to occur. So how to book your agency calls, right? And this is as a beginner, take my advice. One, please make the message personable and relatable. I know you hear it everywhere, but what does that mean? Let me clearly define what I've learned from this, because initially I thought, oh, hey, I like your content would work. No, go into the profile, find something that relates to you and him or her, and figure out something to say that actually makes it look like you give a shit. But whatever you pick should be something in line that's one, going to aid a transition into what? Your offer/opportunity proposition. So what I like to do is whatever I pick actually allows me to make a clean, very, very clean transition into, oh, because of this, I actually think you could be a good fit for this. So one way to put it would be, oh, I like your posts and what you guys do as a brand. Actually, funny enough, a couple months back, I did blah, 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 blah. When I saw you, just reminded me of that and da-da-da. And because of that, really, I actually just think that I'm actually knowledgeable in the space, and so are you. And I think that what you do is great. And maybe we should actually partner up and consider doing this, actually help brands do this and blah, blah. You want to make responding to you be the most no-brainer thing on earth, meaning your offer has to be straight. And by that, I mean, like, really, my offer for the influencer that I'm currently trying to contact is pretty much a no-brainer. There's practically zero risk on their side and unlimited upside. So saying no would just be absolutely stupid. So if I can come off as a real person, get them interested, I mean, the bare minimum they could do is respond with a sure, which is literally what happened. 4 or 5 people responded to me. In essence, 2 of them criticized how shitty my pitch was. And that's actually one of the tips that I actually want to tell you here. One tip that I actually picked up is very, very key here. It's take data on who responds to what, one, and then don't let negative conversations slip away, because it's a very good opportunity to learn on what the hell you did wrong. Because whenever I hit up people and they respond to me and say it goes nowhere, I'll say, hey, what is it that didn't work? What is it do you think that I should improve on? What part of this whole process did you not like, so that I may improve on it in the future? I understand you would not like to work with me, and that's completely fine. But if you could help me out, and I wouldn't say everyone helps out, but I'd say a good 40% did. Meaning, of these 5 people who responded, 4 of them went to shit, and of the 4, 2 people actually ended up helping me and giving me advice. And that advice really helped, because they were like, listen, you just came on my feed and started acting like you were offering high heaven, but in reality, you weren't really offering anything. It's like, okay, maybe setting expectations to a realistic point, that whenever somebody responds, I can actually close them onto a call. It's a very important thing. One lesson learned. Makes sense? The other thing is, I just said it, direct messages require a personable aspect. Separate the text to give it the impression that you're actually writing it to the person from a personal standpoint. Like, okay, this is specifically for you. And then you don't want your message to be so goddamn difficult to understand that the person can barely sift through it. If something requires me to think about, and I'm just trying to sift through my DMs, think about how much friction I'm adding to the process of me responding to you, right? I'm just going to shut off. You want to make this so easy to read, so enticing, so irresistible, and all while making it seem like you're a real person, not trying to sell them on stuff. See, I didn't tell you exactly what I said, but in essence, what I was saying was usually something along the lines of, because of blah, 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 I actually just wanted to extend you an opportunity to actually work for me and with me from a no commitment standpoint where I actually help you with blah, blah, and blah, blah. And if you don't want to, that's completely fine. But if free help is something that would interest you, and then just give them some type of tip when you can just wish them the best of luck so you can make it seem as if you don't need them and you're just looking out for them. But in reality, it's actually quite opposite. Does that make sense? But see, when all of this happens, one big thing that I found myself dealing with that really sucked is they always ask about your past experience. And you really have very, very few options here, right? So you can either one, straight up lie, but the lie likely results in you getting caught in the future, or on your call, one or the other. If you're a good liar, maybe go for it. I don't know. The other thing is you can actually leverage the experience of potential / future or current assets. So that's like, okay, if I hire a VA or if I media buy, or I'm currently in talks with another person who's going to be a partner, I can leverage his experience so that I can say that I did that. So I can make myself look more legit and actually get them to close onto the call. Because in general, what I like to do is actually put the questioning on their side so that I can just get a call from them. And usually on the call, they'll likely ask you some questions. So either way, this is probably one of the most important questions you could actually prep for. Because if you look like you've never done jack, what do I have to trust you for? You know what I mean? Finally, it's just you can actually make sure that the conversation puts the opposing personnel in question and not yourself. So you want to question them about, oh, what they've done, how you've done it, oh, what are your results, blah, 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 blah. You never want it to be, oh, this guy's saying, hey, what have you done? What have you done? Blah, blah. Oh, how did you do it? How long have you been doing this? You don't want the inquisiting to be towards you. You want to inquisit towards them. Make sense? So let's just do a quick summary. How to book your calls for the agency. It's actually how to book calls for your agency. 1, write a personable and relatable part. 2, make a clean transition between whatever you used that was personable and relatable to your offer / opportunity point. Does that make sense? Finally, make whatever offer you have a no-brainer offer where they have nothing to lose. So responding to you is like just the next best move on the chessboard. Make sense? Avoid the fact of not having assets within your organization. Try talking to people on Fiverr. That's something that I used to do. You can say, oh, if you work with me and we can actually leverage your experience, I can actually pay you even better. How does that sound? If you can get a couple people to agree, you can use that. And now you've actually done something. And finally, messages should not be difficult to understand. Craft your offer using Alex Hormozy's $100 million offer. This thing is extremely key because in the $100 million offers book, what you'll notice is he puts certain things in line where he's like, okay, the value equation is probably one of the sweatiest things I've probably seen in a while. I've recently finished going through that. I'll actually show you my notes from the book. It's just, I'll probably, maybe I link it, but yeah, I have like 4 or 5 pages notes worth of it. But in essence, the value equation is just quite simply your customers / whoever you're fulfilling for's dream outcome multiplied by the perceived likelihood of that, right? And the time delay of that actual occurrence and the effort required from their part. So whatever friction there is makes your offer less valuable. Because imagine this. I'm offering you something that's like, okay, join whatever I'm offering, right? If you join it, you will quickly get what you want. You'll get what you want, period. You'll quickly get it. It's high likelihood. And most importantly, it doesn't cost you any type of effort. Once you get with me, we are done. From there, it just happens. Imagine how good that sounds. It almost sounds freaking fake. Does that make sense? And that's the type of offer that you want to have. Take data on who responds to what. Whatever messages work, stick to. Feel free to iterate based off of your losers. I think that the process of reiterating from experiences is probably one of the most important things you could possibly do. In the past 4 or 5 days, I've probably sent over 200 messages out. Over 100 of them literally, over 150 of them literally didn't do shit. Probably more like 160. 40 of them responded. Of the 40, 10 were somewhat valid. The other 30 didn't know jack shit and were not even qualified. And of the 10 that responded, 5 kept report. And of those 5, literally those 5, 2 of them went to absolute shit but gave me great advice. The other 2 just did not give a fuck. And then one of them finally got booked on a call. How did I book it? I leveraged the experience of potential / future current assets. And I made the conversation on what he's done so that I could just say, okay, I need to vet people before they work with me. You do that and you should be on your first call sooner rather than later. Best of luck. And I'm going to keep on giving you guys update on how that goes. And yeah, I mean, we're hustling, and whatever you're doing out there, you can do it too. Like, follow, subscribe. See you in the next one.